Hey guys, what's going on? It's IG on the Disposablegorilla channel. And there's a couple of things in life you can be sure of. You can be sure of taxes, you can be sure of death, and you can be sure that if you do a video about Agent of Doubt, he's going to respond and put words in your mouth. Now, this is partly my fault, as I think the message of my last video was kind of lost, and I'm going to take responsibility for that. And I'm going to apologize to Mike. I apologize if I called you a bigot or a hypocrite. That wasn't really the main point of my video. Although I do think you have an emotional bias towards Christians, and under that sense, under the loose definition of bigot, I think you treat religious people poorly, and I don't think you give them the same respect that you would a non-religious person, especially when titling your videos. The point of my video was the topic of the definition of bigot, and Agent of Doubt and I have had a number of discussions over the years about bigotry and intolerance and how to address this, and we agree on many points. What we disagree on is how to throw the word bigot around with a loose definition. Maybe I should have made that more clear, that the point of my video wasn't to call him a bigot, in that instance, but to caution people about using that word. I've always associated that word with, someone who's hateful, and someone who's disgusted by another group of people and vocal about it. Not necessarily in the context of how he was labeling Venom Fang X a bigot. Now, that's why I showed the definition of the word, because it does apply in that loose, or in that particular, it's a better word, in that particular definition, it does apply. But I thought it was a little too much, especially because the video in question, Venom Fang X, wasn't being hateful. He was expressing his opinion. And while, yes, it can be considered bigoted, it can be considered arrogant, it can be considered a lot of things, I thought that title was unfortunate, and I thought it was a bit unfair. And the thought that I was trying to put out there was, under this loose definition, a lot of people could be considered bigots. A lot of atheists could be considered bigots. Anyhow, so Mike, I apologize if you were offended, and if you want me to take that video down, I'll be happy to take it down. It doesn't mean that much to me. The purpose of the video wasn't to get your feathers all ruffled. It was to get people to think about the word bigot, and maybe reserving that word, for people who really deserve it. Now, maybe you think that Venom Fang X really deserves it, and that's fair. I just wanted to express my feelings on that particular video. I don't think that he deserved that label for that particular video. And later in this video that we're talking about, you put a lot of words in my mouth, and I think that's unfortunate. It's a good thing that I'm really good at just letting this kind of stuff go. It's a good thing that I don't really care much about what YouTube people think of me, because you really do me a disservice in this video. I mean, you have 2,500 plus subscribers, and you tell your audience that I would have you do nothing in the face of bigotry, which is not true. That, and that I really wish that you would ask me personally if you wanted to know what I would have you do, or what I would have you do differently than to put words in my mouth and make me look bad. And I understand you're upset that I made you look bad, and I apologize for that. But I think that it's pretty obvious that the discussion I was trying to have was about the word bigot and the loose definition and how it gets thrown around, not how I see bigotry, not how I would handle bigotry. Because I agree with you. I think we need to stand up against it and speak out against it. But like you said in this video, using a little bit of honey might be the best way to do it. People's defenses tend to get raised, and they stop learning when people's defenses are up. They have a really hard time learning from someone who's just shamed them. I can speak from experience. It's really hard. And I think it's unfortunate to put words in people's mouths. And if that's how you saw my video, then again, I apologize. It wasn't my intention. Again, my intention was to look at the definition of bigot and then look at the video that you had labeled Venom Fang X as being bigoted as, and having a little disagreement and thinking that, well, I think that word's a little bit harsh. Maybe arrogant, bigoted kind of makes him, to people who don't know who Venom Fang X is, it's going to give them this automatic assumption that he's hateful in some way. And I don't see him as a hateful person. I don't know how you see him, but Venom Fang X has been a lot of things, in the past, and I have yet to see him as hateful. But that's my perspective, and especially now, the person that I see now on YouTube is vastly different than the Venom Fang X we saw years ago. And you know me, I like to give everyone a second chance. I like to root for the underdog. I like to, hope that the best in people comes out. And when I see people being labeled, especially with the word bigot or any other negative type of descriptor, it bothers me a little bit. And maybe that's something that I need to get better control of and not have such a knee-jerk reaction, which I will admit my video was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. So, again, I don't want people to get the idea that I support bigotry and I support doing nothing when it comes to bigotry, which is what you'd have your subscribers think. You'd have your subscribers believe that very thing. Which I think sucks. And I think you owe me an apology. But I know it'll be a cold day in California before that happens. Which is fine. But I thought I would take the time to clear that up. And again, apologize if you were offended. My intention wasn't to call you a bigot. My intention was to discuss the definition and of the word and how we should apply it, and when it's appropriate to apply it, and when using it, like you said, is just this big sledgehammer that does an injustice to someone because of a difference of opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. It's gonna be a good one too. It's gonna be like it's gonna be some ponage. I got some ponage lined up. So, but I think I'm going to try to use a little bit more honey this time. Okay, Exiled? Cheers.